We're live. We're good.
We're rolling, mate.
I'm here with a madman, an absolute
comedic
tornado. It's Andrew Wolfe. Look at you leaning on the table.
I
already.
love that you asked Instagram. Anyone got questions for me? I bet you no one said
I wrote them
shit.
all.
You got such a lofty opinion of me. You're like, any questions for Andrew Wolfe as a comedian? I'm like, that's not going to get fuck all, dude.
I did get actually a couple. We're going to get to them.
Dude,
Don't
you know what I
worry.
had the panic last night, speaking of Instagram?
Tell me.
Our Patreon,
Yeah.
we had we were getting quite good numbers. And then last night we lost 30%. We lost 15 people in under an hour.
What do you think happened?
I don't know. I was drinking and I was like, did I do an accent or something? Like, what the fuck's going on here? I've never seen numbers flood out the door like that. Dude, it was like rats off a ship.
They thought they were signing up to James McCann's podcast Patreon.
Oh,
Like, this
dude.
isn't even his. What are we doing?
And the thing is, it's such little money, but it's just psychologically damaging.
Yeah, it is damaging.
That 18 people felt the need to get out of my Patreon in under an hour. Like, what did I do?
You might have some allegations coming your way very
Dude, they
shortly.
might have been, yeah, that feels like what Bill Cosby would have had early signs like that.
He's like, what the hell? My Patreon's
He'd be
going
like,
out the window.
Why's my wife acting all suspicious? You know, it's like,
No,
I've heard rumours.
She stuck by him through the whole thing.
Did she really?
She did. She was like, no, he didn't do this. And they were like, there's like 50 of them. And
My
she was
God,
like,
dude.
no. Why didn't he drug me?
Yeah, that's what's so depressing.
She's like, I always complain to him I'm not sleeping
I
well.
don't need to drug you because you're so dead in the sack anyway. It's as if you've been medicated.
This is
you're
exact-
like, there's still you dead. He goes, I'm actually trying to simulate sex with you. That's why I drugged them.
Because I love you. That's why she stuck by
I
him.
go, every time I'm traveling, I'm missing you, and I just want to simulate that bag of potatoes that I fuck at home. So that's why I've been drugging these women. It's a love act. Anyway, man, what's going on?
Dude, this is exactly how I'd hope this interview would start. Listen, let's make it so
Yeah,
official.
what are we
from
gonna ask?
That's a great riff of all time. I reckon you should take that onto the stage. That Bill Cosby was just trying to replicate his sleepy wife at home.
His starfish wife.
Starfish wife.
That lay there like a coma patient. And she's crying, going, oh, it's so romantic.
Coming to a stage near you, that
Okay.
bit. Oh, Andrew Wolfe. Listen,
Yeah.
man, you're one of my absolute favourites. You're the best. And
Dude,
know
I
you're
heard
weird with it.
I heard the earlier interview. You said that to the last guy.
No, I didn't actually. I said
You're rolling
it was
this
a good vibe.
I've watched these interviews. You said that to everyone. You're a fucking people pleaser.
Listen, a very good friend of mine walking into the stage. Isn't that a funny thing when MCs often bring comedians up? They're like, he's a great friend of mine.
dude.
And they forget their name. They're like, he's a great friend of mine. It's
One of my
It's
favourite
Darren.
is when they do that and you correct them and go, I've never been fond of the guy. You know? You go, very good
I
friends.
just
We
met
gig
him.
all the time. And I'm like, I just want to clarify something. I'm not as fond as him as he is of me.
especially if they're bombing as well. You're like,
Oh, dude, that is the worst when they bring you down with their stink.
oh, the MC.
Like MC's struggling,
All right.
and then he goes, "We're good friends. We hang out all the time." I'm like, "Keep your dirty, don't curse me. Keep the leprosy of me, man. You've been cursed up there. Don't associate with me."
I promise, if I'm ever bombing and I'm MCing a gig for you, I'll be like,
Oh,
I
dude.
hate this guy. He's
Dude.
the worst. He's got the worst taste in comedy.
We've literally got nothing in common. He's totally polar opposite of me, and then I can come out and go, "What was with that guy?"
You guys love me. You're going to hate him.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways.
So what are these questions we got?
Here's some questions, man. People want to get to know you, the real you, trying to get beneath
Well, it's private,
the cruel
mate.
facade. Yeah,
You can't
I
pay
don't
me
care.
$100 and fucking, and I'm going to
You're
reveal
getting
my
paid?
secrets.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Well, this is a paid interview. I wanted to clarify. I would never
Well, you
be
can
here otherwise.
Listen, you just
What's
answer
it?
how you want to answer. And
Okay.
the audience at home can tell if it's truth. I just want to know, what was the first time that you saw stand-up comedy? And do you remember who it was?
Oh, dude, it's actually such an interesting question. It'll be interesting to the legions of fans that have been waiting for this. What an interesting... No, I actually... You know what's crazy? I've got two big memories of comedy. One was in South Africa, and it was... I think... I got taken to a comedy show when I was super young.
You're right.
I remember a South African guy talking about, I want a big dick. I wanted a dick that would impress people at barbecues. And he had some line, and I remember just losing my mind.
That's a great tag.
Dude, he goes, I just want the sort of thing that people at barbecues are talking about my penis. And I must have been, I don't know how old I was, but I lost my mind. I didn't even know that you needed a big dick. I didn't understand any of it, but just this guy talking about his penis. And I don't know how I ended up at an adult show. I must have been one of those annoying kids where they're like,
Right.
why the fuck? So that was there.
In South Africa, wow.
And then obviously Delirious and Raw.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy.
Dude, there's so
I got
many
shown
comics.
that, and I never laughed harder.
Yeah.
And I know that it's taboo. I still laugh at it, to be honest. Ironically.
It's eternal.
But
those bits.
mate, I had never laughed. I went to a mate's house. They
Yeah.
put that on. I didn't know you could laugh that hard, dude.
Yeah.
because we had been doing little ginger jokes, like back
Sure.
and forth,
Yeah.
little nudge, a pull back and reveal. But to just see it's the destruction
Yeah.
systematically for an hour, a guy I didn't even know. I mean, I was cry laughing on the ground, rolling
Yeah.
around, and also like a lot of swearing, which I liked. And then that was the other one was Kevin Bloody Wilson. My mate used to play that when we went to sleepovers.
Just the albums and stuff.
Granddad, where's me fucking bike? And
Yeah.
I don't know how he'd got a copy, but his parents were much looser, and we just listened to that on loop.
Yeah.
Living next door to Alan.
Did that influence
It's
your
very bad shit, dude.
Did that influence your style and stuff? Because how did you develop your style? Because your style is super
Oh,
unique.
I don't know, man. I reckon.
Did you just come up with that
Do you know
from
what
the
the thing
beginning?
that's crazy is they're obviously taboo now, but I reckon the biggest influence of my stand-up from Australia is probably like Rodney Roode and Kevin Bloody Wilson.
Yeah, it's weird because when you said that album, I'm like, man, that's like the manic energy is a little bit there.
Oh, well, and just like the toxic and a bit nasty. But
Sure.
hopefully I'm doing a not as a bad version. I don't know. Like there's a sort of cancelable, but I still think there's some classics in there.
Yeah, but yours has that unique style of like you're like, I don't mean what I'm saying. Maybe I do.
I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
You can't pin it on me.
I don't believe anything I'm saying, really.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really have strong beliefs. Hey, I just believe what you guys
Whatever's
do.
gonna get a laugh.
Whatever's popular, dude.
Well, when was the first time you tried stand-up? So you listened to Kevin Bloody Wilson. You've
Okay,
seen
I don't know why I referenced him, but I was just saying like that's the story arc of when I remember comedy.
Yeah.
And then it was like Jim Carrey, loved that.
Yeah. Just the movies and stuff.
Just the movies.
Yeah, for sure.
Fucking loved it. What's that? Pet Inspector. Come on.
Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura.
So good.
And then what else? I don't know. And then you know when I saw stand up in London before I started,
You're well travelled as a young man. My
dude, I was
goodness.
all over. I don't know.
You were living it
My
up.
dad was running away from the law. No, but the stand up I saw that I reckon pushed me to do it was Steve Hughes.
Steve Hughes. I don't know.
Steve Hughes at the Comedy Store.
Okay.
And he was up there and he was doing his being gay is the most manly thing you can be. Do you know what I mean? Fucking another man. And
I have heard this.
Yeah,
the long-haired dude.
He goes, you hold down, you fucking, there's no, I forget the bit.
Yeah.
But he was on at the Comedy Store and he did 3 encores where he goes, boss, another, and he just did another 10 minutes, another 10 minutes. And the
Wow.
crowd were like, more. And I was in the room and I was like, this guy's the best comic.
Yeah.
And I'd obviously love Stanhope, and Bill Burr a bit, but I'm like, to see Hughes live,
Yeah.
he's fucking a monster, dude.
I remember I saw
He's
like a
so
video of
funny.
him at live at the Apollo, like back in the day, before
Oh.
like any Australian comic was doing that stuff.
Dude,
eh?
such good pacing.
Yeah.
And then obviously I like Jim Jeffries and those guys, but then Hughes, seeing him live, like really pushed me. Like, I just
Yeah.
loved it.
So how long till you tried it after that?
Really quickly after, dude.
What year was this? Do you remember?
I don't know. Mate. I did like
2000s?
No, not 2000. It's like 2012 or something.
Yeah.
That's the only documented case I've got of me doing stand-up, which is Raw, 2012. But I
Was
think I'd done
2012.
like a couple of gigs in that year prior,
Yeah.
including I did.
Because you won the WA. You won the WA final.
No, man, I was in New South Wales. I won the Sydney.
That's even more acclaimed. That's even
I know,
better.
mate.
You
It's-
hated that I said WA. You were like,
I'm
"Don't."
like,
I went to a
dude,
real state and I
Everyone
won.
wins the WA final.
No,
I don't know
won.
a comic that hasn't won it. No, I'm just joking. Did you win it?
No, runner up. That's
Oh,
all
mate,
good,
it's
though.
not a big deal.
That's fine. But look at you. You took off, and then you did 2012.
Comedy
You did Raw.
competitions are a nightmare, dude. They're not good
they're
for
bad,
comedy.
eh?
Why do they have to make everything competitive?
I don't know. Trying
It's
to put
so
in
weird.
Art shows and stuff.
It's so weird that like arts, which is one of the only just expressions of oneself, and then some arsehole has to make it like commercial
Monetised.
and monetized and competitive.
Yeah.
Ranking. So these people are just all hanging out, starting to become friends, and then you make them compete.
turn
and they're
on
like,
each other.
What the fuck?
And they're all cripplingly
Gemma's
insecure.
not better than me, that fucking bitch. You know what I mean? And suddenly you're not chatting to her. I'm like, it's a collaboration and a community, and I don't think there's any good version of stand-up. It's just expression of yourself.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. There's so many different styles. So what do you think is like a common trait amongst all great comedians, though? Like, it doesn't matter your style.
I think
but what's a trait that you
being
have to have?
authentic. I
Yeah,
think the
right.
journey is to express the inner self. Like, this sounds so wanky. This is why I didn't want to do this
good.
interview. But I was
Well,
going to
chipping
say,
away at the armor. I love
I
it.
think the whole goal is to express yourself and then that to be accepted.
Yeah.
So you're on stage and the journey is how much of my true self can I reveal?
Yeah.
And that's the great ones are just truly themselves.
Yeah.
Like Roseanne, warts and all, says whatever. When you notice the great ones are just unfiltered versions of themselves.
Yes.
Any barriers is hackery, and that's where all the hacks are.
So
the hacks are all fucking gimmicks, but the person that just wanders up and goes like, you know, and even now I'm trapped in hackery, but I'm saying like the person that just wanders up and goes, like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
My wife's
honesty.
My
right?
wife's a whore, you know. And then she's
Yeah,
like, I shouldn't have said that. My son's a retard. You know what I mean? I don't know why I've said that. We're gonna have to delete retard.
We got bleeps.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
authenticity.
that's honest.
Yeah,
You're going,
yeah.
I want to leave her, but I don't have the guts.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck? Why are you doing that album? I'm trapped in a loveless marriage.
Do you know what's funny? And I have to say this, Wolfie, because cause, you know, despite what you say in every green room, whenever you're gigging, you're like, I bombed, I'm the worst.
Yeah.
But I see you level on 99.9%
No way,
of gigs.
mate.
But
What about
listen,
last
let
night?
me just say, the only time I ever see people pull back from your sets is when they can sense there's truth in it and they don't know if they have permission to laugh.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I want to
yeah.
go around to them and be like, there is truth in it, but it's a gift.
Yeah, dude.
Laugh. He wants you to laugh.
I'm try-
Otherwise, it's just pain.
I'm trying to heal through,
Yeah.
you know, it's gallows humor.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need your laughs to make me feel better.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like when
Don't rob him of laughter as well.
Granddad's dead, and you're like, well, that's a relief. You need the laugh.
You need the
They can't go,
laugh.
you can't say that. I'm like, what the fuck? Are we going to mourn him forever? He's dead. I need to live, man. I've got to just laugh about this or I'm going to cry forever.
Yeah.
I just find it weird that...
Cry Forever is a good name for a special.
Oh, dude, it's great. Why do people take things so seriously?
I don't know.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, they think by saying grief, by being earnest and serious about it is the only way to process that. They're not aware that, like, the whole Irish, Scottish will have a big laugh, get pissed, say that Nan was a bit of a slut when she was younger, have a laugh, go like, oh, she was bored the fuck out of me for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Then they start laughing, and then it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
Either scenario, she's dead.
It's true as well because all my friends, like any friends that are like paramedics or they deal with like real crazy stuff. Like, I got a mate who's like a trauma cleaner.
Yeah,
he cleans
yeah.
up like just terrible like crime scenes and stuff. They all use humor. They have
Dude,
to as a weapon to like arm
That
themselves
gallows
against the
humor
darkness.
when
Yeah.
you're in darkness and the trauma. And it's actually the people that don't do that have lived a very spoiled, privileged life.
Yeah.
They're like, why would you do that? I'm like, be homeless, have some stress, have a drug addict mom.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to have to develop a sense of humor. And if you don't have one, well, fucking la-di fucking da.
it's
You've
so
had
boring.
such a privileged
Oh.
bubble of a life.
Yeah, it's
And I'm
awful.
like, you should not talk as much, man, because you're exposing that, you know, that you've not really lived.
Not lived. You've not-
I'm like, it's a shameful admission. Where you're like, that's not funny.
Do you know last night we gigged together last night?
Yeah.
And there was 3 girls.
Well,
in
you
the-
gigged. I hopped up. I don't think I really did stand up per se.
Do you know what was great? Is I saw there was 3 young blonde women in towards the back, right?
Yeah.
And I saw there, and 2 of them were just like when you were on stage, were like falling on each other, screaming.
they like it?
Screaming, right? Losing it, and then one on the end was like,
Oh,
real,
mate.
real sour, right? Right next to her. But what was so good is that because her friend, they were physical laughers as they were falling, punching each other and shit as you were doing stuff. Eventually, she just gave in.
And she started laughing?
I think she might have even been faking it, but she started laughing just to stop being
Oh,
bashed
dude.
by her friends. She was like, all right, he's funny.
That's what I was loving watching, because I saw a brown-haired woman.
Yeah.
And she was the same, like, it might not have been your act, but visually distressed by the stand-up.
It was me.
And,
It was my act,
and I
yeah.
was laughing, and it looked like she'd been... There's nothing funnier to a comic watching someone being so distressed by other people's attempts at whatever, you know, the
Yeah.
humor.
Yeah.
And she just was so confused because you were killing, but there was one lady in there traumatized by what you were doing. And it's like she's being fingered against her will by her boss. She's just like, that's all right. But the stress on her face, because it's actually a hard part as a human being to see a group of 150 laughing and you're not laughing and you're not sure why it's funny.
What am I missing?
Do you know how isolated you feel as a
Yeah,
person?
that's true.
Where you're like, am I dumb? Or like, what's
Yeah.
going on? And
Well,
people
my
are like, how good is
condolences.
this? And you're like, oh, yeah, you've been in the bubble, dude. You're too
He's
privileged.
awful. Well, my condolences to that poor woman that suffered a trauma at just hating my material
She
last
hated
night.
you so much. And that's why I gave it such a big laugh.
Oh,
there was
that's
one
great.
laugh where no one laughed and I could see her relief. Like, she goes, yeah, they can see him for what I see.
I gave her a few moments of relief then if
Dude,
there
I
was
was,
no
trying to
laugh.
look, I was trying to look for her in my set. Couldn't see her.
No, she was loving it. I want to know that people love bomb stories. Is there any particular bad ones that just jump out? You like, no, and I mean, like, because you're like, I bomb all the time, but I mean, like, one that where you genuinely
I'm trying
like,
to
shook
think
you to
of-
your core.
I had one with Starbar had a contest, which was
Starbucks?
Dante, notorious Dante, used to run gigs, and it was the final, and it was at Perth. It was in Sydney City fucking RSL, right?
Okay.
And it was pretty rough. And before I got on stage, I'd worn new shoes. I had worn new shoes, which is a big deal to me. Like a haircut of shoes can throw me into disarray. So I was worried about these shoes because I thought they're too pink. They're too, you know, like they look punsy. I don't know what's going on. So when I was walking towards the stage, I don't know if a comic had set up, but someone yelled out, "Nice shoes, faggot." You got to beat that. And then someone else yelled that, like, "Nice shoes." And then I went up and I was so angry. I was like, "You motherfucker, you Parramatta, you voting the." I basically went for 12 minutes just doing hate speech about like liberals. I was talking about Labor government, climate change. Your wife doesn't love you. And then I came off to the promoter and I go, "I don't know what happened, man. I lost him on the front." And he was like, "What do you mean? You didn't do any comedy. You just yelled at that one man that had talked about your shoes for 12 minutes straight." And then I had another bomb with Dante as well, which was a guy a guy heckled me. And I think I said, "You look like a fucking beanbag with a head on it." And the whole crowd laughed at him and clapped. And I'm not sure if he stormed out, but it fucking broke him. 3 weeks later, he had come back. He came back to the gig twice to try to find me because it had so much impact on him.
Oh, no.
People said, "Dude, he's back. He's back. He's looking for you. He wants to beat you up." He had actually driven from Parramatta back 2 weeks later because he'd been eating away at him. That I'd said he looked like a beanbag with a head on it.
This guy must have really looked like a beanbag with a head on it.
I think what had happened is he had his girlfriend and friends there.
Sure.
And they'd obviously run with that.
Yeah.
And really, beanbag boy. You know what I mean? And I think
you're giving him ammo.
And he was like, and he's at a barbecue and his mum was like, "Here comes, squish, squish, squish. Here comes beanbag boy."
Just bash mum, don't bash
I
Andrew.
want to get that fucking dickhead. So those were two
real bad ones.
bad ones.
Yeah. Those are good. I like those. That second one sounds more like a victory than anything because you didn't get
Well,
bashed.
look, I was just framing it. When they go, "What's a bad gig?"
Yeah, what's a
And I'm
bad
like,
gig?
Picture
What about
this.
the time I made someone fucking lose their mind?
3,000 people.
Yeah.
I'm killing. It's 10-minute mark.
Well, you're talking about killing as well. I mean, people hate comedy advice, so I want to ask if you can go back and speak to young Andrew Wolfe, teenage Andrew Wolfe. What's some advice you would give him? Not even in terms of comedy, but in terms of life for the years ahead. Anything?
Oh,
Is there any
mate,
advice?
trust nobody.
Trust no one.
They're all out to get you.
Sure.
I think I was too innocent.
Okay.
I was a naive little people pleaser.
Yeah.
And I think I wanted people to like me too much.
Okay.
Now I've given up. Now I want people not to like me. It's a
Yeah.
better approach. It's like the judo approach.
Judo.
No, where you go with something.
Yeah.
Before, when I was younger, I was trying
To
to
resist.
make people like me. Now I'm like, by doing the opposite move, you get better at response.
Okay.
Do you think? Do you know what I mean?
Sure, unless it's like a cop out where you're like, "I know you don't like me," and they're like,
No,
"I don't like
I'm
you."
saying like you try to like have less and less friends, less and less interactions.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
Just
then
cut it all out.
It's liberating.
Sure.
When they go, "We should catch up," and I'm like, "Nah, I don't
fine.
see any point."
Yeah.
And they're
Just
like, "What do
stay
you
positive
mean?"
within
And they
yourself.
go, "Do you want to catch up for a beer sometime?" And I'm like, "No,
Yeah, just let me.
I'm just going to lie at home, man. Lie
perfect.
alone." Okay, actually, that's awful advice.
But listen,
I was trying to riff a bit,
but it would
It's not a
fast
good
would
advice.
fast track you to where you are now, so that's good. That's good. It
no,
would speed things up.
I don't think there is advice, dude. It's like, there was after the show, a couple were talking to me, telling me that I needed to slow it up. Don't be so anxious up there. This or the other, and I think I was saying to them, I think the whole journey of comedy is exactly the journey of life, which is coming to know yourself and then just accepting it.
Yeah.
Which is when you're a baby and you're just innocent and laughing.
Yeah,
That's where
whatever.
you're at.
Yeah.
You love yourself, you love everything, and and then it all corrupts.
Yeah.
And then over time, you slowly rediscover,
And rebuild
just
it.
going like, dude, I am what I am. Life is what it is.
Yeah.
You're more accepting of your flaws and you know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
think that's the journey in life, which is mirrored in stand-up as well.
Yeah.
When you just go like, yeah, and it is what it is. Like, maybe I'm just not that funny. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Maybe I'm not on Netflix because the hour sucks. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Rather than pointing fingers.
I know
going,
what you're
I've been
saying, that-
fucking screwed over.
Like when you start raw, that when you're innocent like a baby in stand-up, you just see pure instinct and you're like, it's just
Oh.
joy and like happiness. And then like comics tell you rules of things and you
Oh,
have
dude.
bad gig. You get corrupted like in life and then you have to rediscover
Dude, and
how
they
to get
try
back
to
to that
template you.
innocence. Yeah.
They say, slow it up. And you're like, why?
Yeah.
Like, And then the lady was like off stage. She's like, you got to slow it up. And I'm like, I'm fast even off stage. What are you talking about?
Who said
And
that?
she goes, you got to slow it. She said to Sarah Callahan, like, you got to slow it up with your accent. I'm like, people can adjust to, anyone with an IQ over 90 can adjust to an accent.
Yeah.
And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm
you're
like,
like,
exactly, bitch. You don't
exactly.
even get my voice now. I know, I'm
Oh, that's
Australian.
good. Comedy advice from punters. Well, listen,
Yeah.
the worst thing that can happen to a comedian generally is that they bomb. This is Da Bomb. It's a hot sauce. We're not sponsored, but we're going
Oh,
to get
mate,
into
this
it.
is that show. They've got the
They've
hot,
got it.
the
Yeah, I
hot
read it right
sauce.
off that. Genius steals and talent imitates. So that's going to be your
Oh, that's
one,
good,
Wolfie.
mate.
That's going to be your one, Wolf. I'm gonna put
Hang
that-
on.
Hold on to that. And then this one.
I'm actually on a diet, dude, so I
Yeah.
can't really do this.
That's all right, man. This is going to help you. This is going to clear you right out. So don't eat it yet. Don't eat it yet.
Then I'll eat it anyway.
just put it here.
If I drink that bottle, then I win the game.
Do you want to do this and then we'll do the stand-up comedy quiz? So to make
What?
it like, even faster?
Yeah, but what I was saying is if I just drink the whole bottle,
Don't do
I
that.
alpha dog you.
Yeah, you would. But you'd also go to
Drink it,
hospital.
and then I'll tell Johnny I'm not doing any more of the
Yeah.
shows tonight
John's like, what
because
you
I've gone to Princess
what you
Margaret.
fucking done,
and
mate?
they go, that's a kid's hospital.
Let's
and I'm
cheers
like,
it.
I am a child.
Let's cheers.
Okay,
it.
go. I'm not good with hot. I'm not good with hot stuff, dude.
Right,
Why do guys always have to
here
show
comes the
off with
stand-up
hot
comedy
shit?
quiz. Stand-up comedy quiz, Andrew.
You know what I've dreamt of doing hot stuff? Is giving someone some chemical from my shed and go, try this. This is hot. And you go, what is it? I'm like, it's
lawnmower.
hydrochloric acid for the pool. You're not tough enough for that. Those chili peppers, you little bitch, man.
All right, we've got 2.5 minutes, 15 questions. Here
Dude,
we go.
I don't like this.
Time starts now. Number 1, a reference to a previous joke or theme later in a comedy routine is called a what?
Chlorine.
Yeah, incorrect. Callback. Number 2, name 2 shows created by Australian comedian Chris Lilly.
Black is better and black on the top.
Correct. Number 3,
Oh
the
my
final phrase or sentence of a joke or story providing humor or crucial element is referred to as a what?
What?
Correct. Number 4, who is the Australian-born comedian with Netflix specials such as Bear, High and Dry and Intolerant?
Alfie May.
Alfie May. Number 5, a final and often strong joke to finish a comedy set is referred to as what?
Selling out.
Number 6, what is the city that hosts the world's largest art festival that runs annually in which many comedians make their mark? Number 7, who often referred to as the father of Australian stand-up comedy, famous for his famous comedic characters, passed away early this year.
Andrew Wolfe.
Andrew Wolfe, dead.
Okay,
Rest
go.
in peace. Number 8, name the Australian comedian
It's finally
icon.
calming down a bit, dude. That's
For
a
me.
lot, dude.
Name the comedian who hosted the Logies 18 times and won 4 times.
Rove McManus.
No. It's Bert Newton. What slang term is used when a comedian is receiving no or negative response to their material?
Wait, say it again.
What is the term used when someone's receiving no or negative response to their material?
Blake Richardson.
Correct. Number 10.
No.
What Scottish stand-up comedian received his knighthood in 2017, weeks before his 75th birthday?
I heard that one. I heard the earlier
Who is it?
interview. Billy Connolly, but it also might
Connolly.
be that. Fuck, I spat on camera. That's disgusting.
What Australian stand-up comedian and TV host used the catchphrase, say hi to your mum for me?
Well, we know that. It's Rove, man.
Rove
And
McManus. A person interrupting a performance with comments and or questions is often referred to as a what?
helpful audience member.
What Australian comic won the main prize at Edinburgh Comedy Awards in 2022 for his comedy show simply titled Comedy Show?
Oh, it's Little Campbell, so quirky.
Sam Campbell. All right.
Sorry.
You did it. Now
You
listen.
did it. Oh, man, that burning made me angry.
It's hurt me really bad. But it's been a pleasure to chat to you a little bit. And we got some serious stuff. We've got some not so serious stuff. That's good. It's exactly Andrew Wolfe. It's exactly what I like. I'm hurting so bad, man.
Just keep laughing and learning, guys, and
Keep laughing
loving.
and learning.
Laugh, learn, love.
I did have one question from an audience member. It's not in right now. Someone wanted to know about the shirts. They said, is it part of your character or do you dress like that in the wild?
No, dude, you know what? I dress for like I'm going to a funeral unless I'm on stage. I wear all black to have no engagement with society and add no value or colour to this set. So I only wear this on stage. Generally, I only wear black shirts, black pants. But I think on stage it looks a bit like you were part of catering. So I tried to doll it up.
You'd like a little bit of a pop in life on stage. All right.
Also,
someone-
because I do dark material, and I think it's nice. Like, oh, he seems at least
look at
his
a flamingo.
His shirt's fun.
His shirt's
As I'm
colourful.
yelling, like, we're all gonna die. It seems quite ironic to dress in a party top when you're negative.
Have you shit your pants since adulthood?
Dude, I've done it a lot. Hey. I just did it then.
When was the last time?
About 15 seconds ago.
The bomb set you off. What's the funniest heckle you can remember?
I heard Whackers one, and I've had the same. No, no, it's the greatest.
Yeah, no, it's
no, just no more. It's just so, the plea to stop with your words, and the fact you have to ignore them because you're getting paid, and then please, no, I'm going to have to take time off work, no. And you go on, come on, they're all whores, you know it, Sally, no more. It's actually, you can see PTSD on setting in her eyes, and you plow on. No, because it's such a well-meaning and kind plea for you to cease and desist. And you persevere anyway because you're a fucking arrogant narcissist.
Oh my
so
God.
bad, man.
No is a good heckle. It's the funniest heckle. If you're going to heckle, just say no.
Well, it's basically a consent thing. It's like a Me Too, a comedy Me Too.
I'm not consenting.
No, I don't consent to your mind. Stop imposing your thoughts. No, I'm violated. And you're like, yeah. Okay.
Andrew Wolfe.
Cheers, mate. Oh, dude, that answer's killed me.